Hello, and welcome back to the Mindfully Rich podcast, your weekly look at life and finances with a twist, where we talk about improving your overall relationship with money and building better financial habits. On each episode, I'll discuss real life situations and give y'all practical advice. The point of this podcast is to help you stay in your financial lane so you won't end up broke. I'm the creator and host, Gina Richie Richardson. Now, let's jump into today's conversation. What's up, y'all? I'm back. And of course, I have some insightful information to share with y'all today as we get into another wonderful conversation here on the Mindfully Rich podcast. And y'all know how I do it. For those of y'all that have been rocking with me for a while, y'all know I like to start with gratitude. Yes, thanking everybody because look, let me tell you what, y'all. Without y'all, there's no podcast, okay? And child, truth be told, without y'all, I don't know how I would be sitting here getting listens when the podcast hasn't been as consistent as it used to be. Child, y'all still be, let me tell you what, okay? Last week, I got one of my most downloaded weeks that I've had in like a long time. And there was no new episode last week. And so I was just like, yo, they be holding me down. So gratitude is in order for all of y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all know that y'all is my marketing team. And yes, that is when I speak incorrectly because y'all is the marketing. Okay. Without y'all, this show don't go far and wide. So make sure whether you like the content or not, okay, love or indifferent, you share this thing far and wide, okay, because you got a job to do. That's what marketing does, all right? You make sure that you share in the podcast and talking to me and let me know how y'all liking the episode. I know, you know what, family talk after the episode. We ain't gonna get into that right now, but like I said at the beginning, today I have an insightful topic for us to talk about, and I'm super excited for it. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, the reason why y'all are here is for us to talk about our mindful money moment, which is the time where we'll have a conversation about a specific topic. And so I don't have a song title. So y'all probably, for those of y'all that are new, like, what she mean by a song title? So I started this podcast taking song titles from hip hop and R&B songs, and that would be the topic of discussion. But because of what I'm talking about today, didn't really have nothing that fit, we don't have one. And so our topic at hand today is money habits or sayings that I've had to unlearn. Yes, I was like trying to rack my brain, like what's something that's pretty relatable? And so for me as a financial educator as a whole, I have the pleasure of talking to a lot of people about money and finances. And people have so many different beliefs and perspectives. And so from everything that I've heard over time, because I've been doing this for a long time, I was like, you know what? I want to put together some money habits and or sayings that I've had to unlearn, that I've also heard from other people that they thought were true, that they are now trying to unlearn as well. All right? Because think about it like this. There are lots of things that we learn in our childhood, and those things, they tend to just stick in our heads, right? When we become adults, we have to do the due diligence to debunk some of the things that we've learned, some of those habits, some of those sins that we have now ingrained as truth, right? Because a lot of those things, you've heard it so much, it's like, all right, that's what's in my head. That's what's been percolating all up in there. So that's what I'm going to believe. But when we're adults, we start hearing from other people. We start doing our own research, seeing things, and we start putting together, I don't know if that was all the way true. And so that's what I want to do today. Just because when we are growing up, there is a certain time in our youth. I'm reading a 50 Cent book. I believe the name is Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. Now, I know what y'all thinking. How you reading a book and don't know the name of the book? That's neither here nor there, okay? But I believe that that's the name of the book. But 50 even mentioned it, and I had read this somewhere too, that there's a time frame in our life. I believe it's 12 to 22. I could have that wrong, but there's a time frame in our life where we remember every single thing that happened during that time. Like if you think about the music that you heard during the time when you were 12 to 22, the sayings, the beliefs and things like that that you have, you still probably say those things. You probably remember all the words to those songs. All of those things feel like just yesterday, right? Because I know it do for me. Any song that I learned from 12 to 22, I know like the back of my hand, okay? Like, I don't know when I'm going to ever win a Nobel Peace Prize for knowing all the words to Beyonce's Me, Myself, and I album, but I know them, okay? That space that could be there for something else, but I know it. All right. But y'all get what I'm trying to say. And so I want to make sure that we're taking it back just because I do understand. And when I'm talking to people about finances all the time, they like, but that's what I heard and that's what I grew up with. That's what my guardian or my parents or whomever, that's what they taught me. But I want you to open your mind up today to new perspectives just because I too have had to unlearn, also debunk myths, sayings, things that I've learned about money that aren't necessarily true. And I've learned those things through personal experience and also professional experience. And so y'all go ahead and, y'all stick with me, okay? Stay with me on this, all right? And so we're going to go ahead and get into our topic, all right? So the first saying I had to unlearn is money isn't everything. So did y'all hear money ain't everything growing up? You probably heard this from the elders in your life, right? So for me, I heard this from my grandparents, right? Me and my mom, we did some time between staying with my grandparents and then staying on our own in Harvey. So my grandparents lived in Markham, and then for a while we lived in Harvey. And both of these cities are outside of Chicago. And so I did a lot of time with my grandparents. That's the reason why I feel like I have such an old soul now. But I can remember them always telling me money isn't everything, right? And I would just be like, oh, okay, cool. I hear what y'all saying. I've lived both lives. I know what it's like to struggle. And then when I would be at my grandparents' house, I do also know what it's like to not have everything, but you have what you need, essentially. Not necessarily everything you want, but you have what you need. And so that saying, of course, coming from my grandma, with her being a religious woman, a spiritual woman, and a God-fearing woman that she is, I can, hear that. I understand that, right? But this is the thing that I've learned, right? I don't ever believe that money is everything, right? But I know one thing, you got to use it for everything, okay? Cost of living for a reason, meaning that you got to use money. Okay, I was looking at TikTok the other day, and one of my favorite TikTokers was talking about, like, how ghetto is it that somebody came up with that we have to pay to live, right? Because that's pretty ghetto. Ghetto in the sense of, right? Why is this a thing that we have to do this, right? And there's a cost of living for a reason. And so everything has some type of monetary value. There's a charge for every single thing that we particularly need. Like, I can see if we can get our needs without money, but we can't even get the things that we need without money, right? I can't go to the store today, tomorrow, or any day and say, yo, I got some bomb hugs, okay? Y'all taking hugs today? Because they're going to be like, yo, where the money at, right? So while the saying money isn't everything is quote unquote a saying, right? I get what they trying to say, but let's not confuse the people, okay? We need money for everything. So that's a saying that we need to just go ahead and just let go to the side, right? Like, I'm pretty sure no one's trying to worship money, but this is the thing. When people don't have money, they start doing some bad things, some desperate things, right? Some things start happening because they can't get the bare necessities, right? We ain't even talking about the things that they want, the things that you need. So while money isn't everything, say it with me, everybody, we need it for every single thing. All right. So the next thing that I've had to unlearn is cash is king. Right. And so you hear this a lot. This is also used in the investment world as well. And so for me, it's like when I hear people say, cash is king, I'm hearing them say that they don't need credit. I'm also hearing them say, I can get everything that I need in cash. Now, I want y'all to hear me good. This is what I hear them saying, okay? I'm not saying that this is what y'all hear them saying. So, we talking about my beliefs right now, okay? You want to combat this, you make sure you hit me up, DM me or something like that or whatever, right? So, it's like when I hear people say cash is king, I'm hearing them say that, you know what, forget credit. I'm going to pay for everything in cash. And so I don't know the world that everybody else live in, but the world I live in, I've had to buy more things on credit than I've ever bought in cash. All right. I'm going to use myself here just because I get it. There are people in the world that make a lot of money and they can go throw cash down and purchase every single thing that they may want and or need, okay? That hasn't been my life yet, all right? Once I get to that stage, that's going to be a different story. But in the life that I live right now, I've purchased more things on credit than I've ever been able to get in cash. Now, there are some things in my lifetime that I know I'm going to want that at this moment, I know I can't pay cash for. Every car I bought was through credit, all right? I didn't have enough money to go and throw some money down so that I can purchase the car flat out, right? Now, can you buy cars in cash? Yes, you absolutely can. The type of cars that I drive, no, I can't, okay? They cost more than that. They cost more than me sitting here saving up $20, $30, $40,000 for. That's just where I'm at, all right? And I'm giving y'all a good example. Could I have probably done that and taken the bus or probably have somebody else? No, I couldn't have. No, I'm telling y'all my life. No, I couldn't. I needed it now. All right. Therefore, I didn't have cash to get that. And I wasn't about to hold on nor save years and years and years. Because, I mean, how many years we talking about that I'm finna save all of this money so that I can buy the car that I want? No, that's not my case, right? I've also had to, I'm sitting here trying to figure my words out because I got a lot to say. There's also been things that I've needed to fix. There's been items that I've needed to purchase where I got a personal loan, which is an installment loan where I had to say, hey, can you give me this amount of money so I can go get X, Y, and Z, whatever those X, Y, and Z things were. Because at that particular moment, I didn't have savings for it. I leveraged my credit, right? And this is the thing, right? And don't get me started on mortgages, okay? I live in California, in Sacramento specifically, okay? The average cost of a home, I'm sitting here, I'm pacing myself because I want to make sure that I get kind of close to where we at. I believe the average is somewhere between $400,000 and $500,000 for a home now in the Sacramento area, right? I don't know about y'all. I don't have $400,000 and $500,000 that I am even going to attempt to save up so that I can pay for a mortgage in cash. Okay, I'm just giving y'all some examples. These are things that I've either bought or want to buy or will buy through credit because I don't have enough cash. Although we've all heard that saying, cash is king. Another reason why the cash is king talk is kind of not realistic, I'm going to use that word, is because inflation. Inflation is decreasing the dollar daily, okay? There is not enough value that the dollar is going to have that's going to keep it the same price. If I'm saving money today, that it's going to be the same price a year, 2 year, 3 years from now, just because the dollar is continuing to go up, which is cash. So if my cash is always decreasing, how is cash king? That's just me. Once again, okay? I'm making sure that I give y'all what my analysis on what that means to me. So if anybody take this little clip, you take the whole clip, okay? I see how people be doing nowadays. They'll take some of what you said and be like, see, that's wrong. That's this, that's that. Okay. Yeah. But just giving y'all how I feel the saying cash is king can be detrimental to people because it can give the false sense of, oh, if you just save up all your money and you'll be able to pay for all of the things that you need. Or your dollar is just going to go so far when our dollar is continuing every single day to decrease due to inflation. At some point in time, most of us are going to need to leverage credit, okay? Credit's going to be the next episode where I talk about credit habits and sayings that I had to unlearn, but y'all get what I'm saying, okay? All right, so moving on. The next saying that I had to unlearn is keep your money in a safe. All right. So if you grew up with elders, because I did, I grew, and you know what? And it was such a blessing growing up with older people in my life, right? Let me tell you what, my grandparents, they were staples. All right. Let me just a life. Okay. I'm gonna have to do an episode of back in the day. Okay. One day. But growing up with older people in your life, you get a chance to see a lot of things, right? And I saw my grandparents keep a safe and keep money and other valuable things in a safe. Now, I'm not going to necessarily say that my grandparents were the ones that told me to keep a safe and keep money in a safe, but I've gotten a chance to hear from lots of other elder people who have either done this or this is a practice that they are currently using to this day. Now, I understand it. I get it. For Black people and people of color, there have been so many systematic discriminatory practices that have kept us out of the banking systems, right? Whether it was you weren't able to obtain a bank account, them not tell you the reasons why you can't obtain said bank account, or if there was discrimination happening against you in other ways regarding some type of banking system, right? I'm not going to go into redlining or any of the loan practices, things like that. There's lots of different systematic discriminatory things that have happened to Black people. So I understand why people of color, they're like, you know what? We not trusting the banks. All right. And that has been a thing for all of time. So I understand where the keep your money in a safe comes from. This is the thing. When you're keeping your money at home in a safe, it's not protected. If something were to happen, if said safe were to be stolen, if your family members, your friends, if your spouse, your partner, whoever it is, decide to turn on you, your money is right there and it's able to be taken, right? When you put your money in, say, a bank and or a credit union, even though I'm a credit union girl, child, okay, let me tell you what, all right, my money only circulates and percolates in a credit union, okay? So when you put your money in a bank and or credit union, there is something called an FDIC and an NCUA protection that you receive on monies up to $250,000. So if something were to happen to your money, if there was like somebody's broken into your account of some sort and they're electronically taking your money of some sort, you can file a dispute. Those are things that can be tracked. When you have monies that is in a safe, how do you track that? How do you, somebody comes and takes the safe, a family member, a friend, a spouse, a partner takes the money. What do you do then? There's no protection on that. All you got is, I'm going to go get them. Okay, that's it, right? So it's like, I understand the thinking, I understand the practices and the harms that have been done in the world that have kept people of color from putting their money in banks and then using safes at home so that they can hold their monies. But it's just not a smart practice that you can continue to use just because there's no protection on your actual money. Once again, you have the FDIC and the NCUA. They have protections on your money up to $250,000 per Social Security number on an account. So that's something that you definitely can look into. And I get it, child. Let me tell you what, okay? I was in the banking industry, corporate banking industry for 16 years. When I say that, I be feeling so old, like I didn't been here, okay? 16 years, okay? It'd be so funny to me. So it's like, I get it. I understand. And it's like, I've seen some stuff. All right. I worked at Wells Fargo before. All right. And so currently they still have some stuff going on where you have staff that has opened up unauthorized accounts for their clients, their banking clients, right? This is kind of one of the reasons why. And look, this isn't This isn't me talking bad about them. This is in the news right now. Okay. I can mention stuff that they're allegedly being accused of. Okay. Plus, I work there, but neither here nor there. All right. When you hear about stuff like that, it does make you say, ugh, that's the reason why I don't want to be a part of blah, 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 blah. Right. And I get that. I understand that. But your money is still going to be safer held in a financial institution than you trying to keep it at home in a safe. So hopefully I made that point. All right. Moving on. The next saying that I had to unlearn is find a company with good benefits, stay there, and retire. Okay. So this is dealing with money, right? So it's like, I know y'all probably like, how do I deal with money? Okay. Because where you work is where you're earning your money. All right. And so when you hear that saying, find a good company. Now, I know I ain't the only one. I know y'all can't talk back to me right now, but have y'all heard that? Have y'all heard, did your people tell you back in the day, find a good company with good benefits, stay there and retire, right? So that normally leads to you staying there for 20, 30, 40 years, right? We're in a different day. I'm a millennial. Now, I'm a geriatric millennial, as they call it, okay? I'm 38, all right? And my generation of millennials, even my age, and shoot, don't even get me started with the baby millennials, okay? The baby millennials ain't playing with these employers right now, all right? Baby millennials, they will be there for 6 months and leave. All right. But millennials, my age, because millennials are taking over the workforce. Baby boomers had it for a good period of time. But millennials, we are taking over, if not already have taken over the workforce. Right. We'll be at a job for 2-3 years and then we up. All right. That's it. Where the next job at? And the reason being, back in the day, they would tell you not to switch jobs, stay there, get your pensions and things like that. There's not a lot of companies that give you a pension, right? And even though, yes, pensions are a good benefit, right? Who doesn't want to retire and now you've retired from this company and you just get to sit back and collect the check, all right? I still do believe, I don't know if the city jobs, state jobs, I know government jobs, some hospital jobs, it may be some banking jobs out there. They still may give you some pensions, but there's still some pensions out there, but it's not like a given like it used to be. Just like Social Security, child, when they be saying how it may not be there for millennials, that's cause for pause. All right. So it's not a lot of pensions and stuff out there, but yes, there are jobs out there that have great benefits, right? While they may have great benefits, the millennial generation, we done showed the workforce, look, my mental health is important to me. All right. And if y'all making me mad, y'all messing with my advancement abilities, y'all doing any of those things. If y'all are messing with my earning ability here, we gone. Okay. We are leaving here. Right. So I'm not telling you don't do this. I just feel like the saying itself can be a little detrimental just because when you think about staying on a job for 20 years, right? Just the saying as a whole. So I'm just supposed to stay there regardless. And some of these jobs are cruel. Some of these companies, they aren't doing what they need to do with their employees and staff. That's just a given. That's going to happen all over. So when you talk about, I'm just going to stay at a job for 20 years, blanket statement like that could be a little detrimental, to someone who isn't going to challenge that, and they're just going to sit there because that's been the saying that they've been told, especially from somebody that they love. Because when we think about like our elders, we look at how they stayed at jobs for a long period of time. That's just like my mom. My mom, back in the day, she worked at Ingles for 19 years, right? She almost made that 20th year, but then they laid her off. And I be looking at stuff like that, like, see, that's what I'm talking about. Like, what? Over time, regardless of what the layoff is or regardless to what's happening or what the company is doing, you can have all good intentions and I'm going to be here, all of these things, and then they could just turn on you, right? Like, I just don't be wanting to be bothered with that. But the earning potential and the conversation that I really want to have is when you do stay at a job for all of that time, let's think about what your raises are over time, right? Because the average raise is anywhere between 3 and 5% each year, right? So if I'm just staying at a job 20 years, every single year, I'm just getting this little 3 to 5%, I'm missing out on money. When you switch jobs, the average that someone increases themselves when they switch jobs, I read was between 10 and 20%. Just because you're not going to switch no job for no dollar. All right. Back in the day, that may have been like a little thing, playing around and stuff like that. But nowadays, we done got smart when it comes to our earning potential, when it comes to the salaries that we're making. If you're going to switch a job, you're going to switch for some money. And so switching for 10 to 20% is worth it. Right. And given the average time that millennials switch jobs now, which is every 3 years, okay, you're increasing your earning potential exponentially when you're switching like that. Now, once again, that's not something that I'm telling people to do. I'm telling you research and what people are doing, right? And I'm telling you what that's saying, find a company with good benefits and stay and retire, how detrimental that saying can be to your total earning potential in your lifetime, okay? Child, that felt like I said a whole bunch of words. Just know you got options out here, okay? Yes, all right? And you make sure that you looking into your options, okay? Because sometimes you don't want to get stagnant and then your overall growth and advancement is hindered, okay? You just want to make sure that you got options in these streets, okay? All right, and so, child, I've been talking. How long the episode is? All right, let me go on here with this last one. All right, so the last... The last money saying that I've had to unlearn is money doesn't grow on trees, okay? So the one thing that I'll say about this is that this saying was said way too much back in the day. I don't know if people still saying this. I don't ever say this to my kids, right? Money Trees is one of my favorite songs, all right? By Kendrick, all right? I love this song. Beat, amazing, flawless, okay? Flawless victory if we're talking about it. But I get it. Money doesn't grow on trees. But the day and age that we live in now, there are so many opportunities for you to create a money tree with your gifts, with your talents, with your expertise. Man, you can monetize damn near anything. All right. Now, look, this ain't something I'm telling y'all to do. But when I say anything, there are people out there who are riding bikes and sucking lollipops and making money off of that, okay? Y'all get where I'm trying to go with that, all right? I just had to make sure that I'm being completely honest. There are people who are making money off of things that you wouldn't even imagine. That's the reason why when I sit here and I think about, man, I don't have this. I'm like, girl, you got too much expertise. You got too much knowledge. You got too much of all of these different things for you to ever sit here and feel like you can't get out there and make some money. Or you can't get out there and get what you need to get to make sure you're taking care of the things that you need to take care of. And also fulfilling those things that you want to do, right? Because once again, need money for everything, right? And so making sure that if you are a subject matter expert at something, whatever your expertise is, whatever your talent is, whatever those things, those hobbies, those things that you would do if you were doing it for free, right? When you're thinking about, man, I need to make some extra money, or how can I make some extra money? Make sure you're thinking about that. We live in a day and time where multiple streams of income used to be like a luxury. It ain't a luxury no more. All right. We need to be doing all the things. Okay. Jack of all trades out here in these streets. All right. Just to make sure that you are continuing to earn, because once again, going back to inflation is bringing that dollar down every single day. But you want to make sure that you're able to continue to fulfill the things that you need to purchase in your life for you and your family. And then, of course, we can't just live in a world where we're not doing some of the things that we want to do, right? That ain't my world, all right? My world is a buffet of money, all right? That's where I'm at, all right? I had to make sure that I understood that because I forgot. Sometimes I forget, but I want to make sure that I'm reminding y'all today. All right, so y'all go ahead and get out here and start planting your money tree. All right, once again, we know that money don't grow on trees, but there is opportunity and space around you so that you can make all of the money that you need to get so that you can live the life that you want to live and have the things that you need. All right, so did I cover all the sayings? Yeah, I think I did, y'all. Ooh, child, it's a long episode, but y'all, look, I ain't been on here in a while, so we were needing a long episode of some sort. And so let's go ahead. I told y'all that we was gonna have a family conversation. So let's go ahead, since we didn't finish the business at hand, talked about the topics. Those are the sayings that I had to unlearn, and hopefully it gave you some new perspective and something to think about. Go ahead and rewind anything that you need to hear again, okay? And anything that you combat, okay? You want to go toe to toe with me, go ahead and DM me. You know, I'm on the Instagram, mindfully underscore rich underscore podcast. That's where you can find me on IG. I don't believe that the podcast page is going on Threads. Yeah, Threads is a new thing, but that's not what we about to talk about. Family conversations. So once again, thank y'all so much for all of the support. Y'all probably been wondering, where have I been? What is going on? Why did you have to stop? Like, you just stopped making episodes. Like, first I got real spotty, then I just stopped for a while, and then I had to like look at it. So when I first started this podcast, I used to say to myself, our biggest thing is we want to make sure that we're consistent. And I say we're because I treat myself as a business. It's a bunch of me in here, okay? It's a bunch of Ginas doing everything, right? They got their hands in all type of fires. When I started the podcast, I was in a different situation. I was stable. And stability is one of my love languages, child. And so I was stable. It was the height of the pandemic. I was doing this podcast as a give back. I wasn't looking to make no money from it or anything. It was me just getting my voice out there just because I truly do believe God has me out here serving the world through information, storytelling, inspiration, empathy, encouragement, all of the things. And I do that talking about money and also life, right? And so over time, some things started to change. My working situation started to change. I went through a big depression over that situation. In some ways, I'm still a little rocked. And I haven't been the same. My stability has been challenged, right? I've been betting on me in a lot of ways, starting a business, doing all of these things that have just like rocked me and don't feel as stable as I used to be. And so when you're in that position, I don't know about y'all, me being a Capricorn child, like, you know, I got to make sure that things are right. Is the money going to be made? We're going to be able to live. And it's like, God provides. God has continued to provide, but it's been rough, right? I don't know how to really describe this other than saying I just haven't felt like getting up. I haven't felt like doing things. I haven't felt like being creative. I haven't felt like coming to y'all and being phony, right? I would rather me be in a good space in my mind. I would rather me be in a good space and come to y'all with conviction because I have integrity than to me get on here and try to act like things are good and they really not, right? Things are okay right now, right? I'm not going to say that they bad. They okay. They going to be better. All right. I am claiming better. Y'all going to see I'm living the best life that I've I'm claiming this right now. My life is about to exponentially rise, and y'all are about to see so much of an increase here on the Mindfully Rich podcast and see that increase in me and what it is that I'm doing and how I'm serving this world, right? You're about to see that because I just got my mind right. Like, I don't know if y'all have ever been through it where you've had months and months and months where it's like every single day you keep telling yourself, tomorrow I'm going to do it. Tomorrow I'm going to do it. I've literally had, if not the last 7 months, that's what it's felt like, right? Like it's felt, I'm not going to cry. It hasn't felt good because I'm such a go-getter. I'm such a person who wins, and I'm a person who will outwork everybody so that I can make sure that things are good. But I've went months where every single day that I wanted to get up with all of the ideas, with all the creativity, with all of the things that I needed to do so that I can make myself more successful, you know, because I'm one of those people. I got to just continue to go after it, right? I couldn't do it. I couldn't move. So I get what the elders talk about when they would pray for a peace of mind, because I felt like my mind, not that my mind wasn't there, it just felt like I was stuck. I was stuck somewhere and I couldn't get unstuck. No matter how many scriptures I read, no matter how many prayers I said, no matter how much I tried to fake and trick myself into doing something different, I just couldn't do it. So I couldn't come to y'all. I'm back now. Once again, just like I said in the beginning, I mean, today has been one of the better days where I was able to just like get up and I asked God, like, is it over? Like, is the is the stuckness gone? And I feel like I got an answer. Anytime I see a bluebird, and I see 3 bluebirds in a day, that mean I'm getting some type of answer somewhere. That's me though. Okay. I don't know what y'all God be sending y'all for responses. Okay. That's what my God be doing. Okay. But just know I'm back. I've made a promise to myself. I believe that this stuckness is finished. I am going to continue what I started. This podcast means the world to me. I have touched so many people that are listening, child. And Alaska, hey y'all, what's up? Okay, because I don't know who's over there, right. They over there, okay. I'm just saying this because they are, because I don't know. But they be listening. I be looking at the metrics. But I've touched so many people, and so this podcast means the world to me. So it will continue to be my love. I will continue to bring y'all great content. I have lots of things that I plan to be on the way. Hopefully they're able to come to fruition. I also have other platforms that I'm about to have a subscription service that's going to break off, where there's going to be more content over there, because while I haven't been here with y'all, I've been writing down some things, but I haven't recorded it. And I got so much content so much content in my head that I'm like, we got to do something with it. So I'm starting a subscriber base. And plus, I got to monetize these things, child. Your girl got to make money. Okay. So we went 3 years not doing the money. Okay, we got to do something somewhere. So if you rocking with the kid, okay, when I come out with that subscription service, you go ahead and check it out. Y'all make sure you check out my services wherever it is that you're listening to this podcast. There's gonna be like an info. I have my website, my services. Y'all make sure y'all check me out. I just started enrollment for some new guidance packages that I have. You can go ahead and check it out on my website, IamMindfullyRich.com. I also have complimentary discovery calls, so that way we can see where you need to go. Just see if you just need some advisement one time, or if you want to get into one of my programs that I have. I have 3 packages for people to choose from. Also, y'all know I'm a whole facilitator and financial educator out here in these streets. So if you want me to come to your company, your organization, and facilitate a financial wellness workshop, a series, any of those things for you, my website is where you can find all of the things. And so, y'all, this has been the longest episode I have ever talked through. And I'm pretty sure y'all are tired of hearing my voice. So that's it, y'all. And until next time, when I hit y'all with another one.